I've got a problem, and I'm willing to bet you can relate. In this video, we're going to take the first steps towards solving it. So what exactly is that problem? So yeah, I drive too much. And it's one of those things that's kind of just expected of us as fully functioning members of society. But the more I drive means the less I ride. And personally, I want out of that cycle. So here's my plan. I'm taking this 41-year-old Univega mountain bike and turning it into my everyday ride. A cargo hauler that can essentially replace my car entirely. But as of right now, this bike is down pretty bad. In fact, it's not even rideable. So I think we've got our work cut out for us. The goal of this build has one simple mission: to get me riding more and driving less. But here's the thing. I don't think accomplishing that goal is as simple as it sounds. And here's why. So what exactly does this bike need to be capable of? To kick it off, the obvious: it needs to be able to haul cargo. I also intend to ride this bike all over the place with cargo loaded down, so it needs to be comfortable on long rides. But how about when the bike isn't carrying cargo? Well, I want it to be fun and sporty. I don't want it to just be a one-trick pony. Lastly, and maybe the most important, but this bike needs to be reliable. If we can't accomplish all four of those items, this bike probably can't replace my car. But if we do, it will absolutely, without a doubt, change how I live and interact with my city. Not only will this bike be an absolute joy to commute on, but I'm also going to be able to use it as an asset for my small business, Traction Coffee, to deliver orders around town to our amazing wholesale partners and take online orders from our web store over to the post office. And while we're standing here talking about our online store, if you're looking for world-class coffee roasted by riders, for riders, look no further than Traction Coffee. I've got a discount code for you right here, and it's also in the episode description down below. It's going to save you 30% off your first order. Go check out my small business, Traction Coffee, support the channel, and enjoy some incredible coffee today. And outside of using this bike for coffee runs, which I'm really excited for because that's a daily task, I'm also gonna be able to use it to go to the grocery store, to the farmer's market, to haul camera gear around for videos like this, and any other task that I would otherwise need to drive for. And it probably goes without saying, but this is my most ambitious bike build to date. So I'm stoked to officially welcome you to part one of a 3-part build series. In today's video, part one of this series, we're gonna start by tearing this bike all the way down and getting it nice and cleaned up. Then we're gonna spray on a fresh layer of clear coat to protect its 41-year-old character and give it a new lease on life. While we're letting that clear coat cure, we're gonna go visit my friend Russ and take him some parts from my friends over at Velo Orange so we can get the wheel build started. In part two, we are gonna mock up and install the Crust Clydesdale fork, which is the centerpiece of this build. More on this thing in just a second. Once the fork's installed, we are gonna start a rough build of the bike while we wait for the wheels to be finished. And then in part three, we're gonna pull this build all together with a final assembly and tuning. Then we're gonna load it down with some coffee for some deliveries and take it out for its first joyride. I wanna give a massive shout out to Crust for sending this super unique fork over. Ever since these things came out, it's been my dream to build a bike around one of them, and it's finally happening. So thank you guys so dang much for the support on the channel. It means the absolute world. I'm gonna set this thing to the side for the rest of this episode, but stay tuned for episode 2 because the Crust Clydesdale fork is gonna be front and center as we get it installed. But for now, let's get to work. It's probably pretty clear by now, but I love working on these old bikes. This one has already lived a full life before it fell into my hands, and you can feel that when you start pulling them apart. For this project, I wanted to use something vintage, not a brand new off-the-shelf frame, and I definitely didn't want to buy a pricey new cargo bike or an e-bike. This Univega was $40 and it still has a ton of life left in it. There's something really cool about repurposing a bike like this. Instead of letting it rust out and find its way to the landfill, it gets a second shot, this time as a cargo hauler. And honestly, for me, that's half the fun. Taking something old and forgotten, giving it a new role, and reviving its soul, then seeing just how far you can push it. It wouldn't be a vintage bike build without some hiccups here and there, and we just ran into our first one, and of course it was the last thing we were taking off of the bike, and that's the bottom bracket. It is completely frozen into the frame. I cannot get it out. I've sprayed a bunch of PB Blaster in there in hopes that it would free it up. It's stuck. It's not coming out. So we're kind of at a standstill. I'm gonna throw the bike in my car. I'm gonna head over to my friends over at Reeb Cycles. They might have a better solution, so let's go see if they can help out. I'm over here at Hoopty, which is Reeb Cycles bike shop, and guess what? They got the bottom bracket out of the frame. Todd, he's the man over here. I walked in and he's like, I love a challenge, and went to work, got the bottom bracket out with ease. So big shout out to Todd. Thank you so much, dude. Now we're back in business. Let's go get this thing cleaned up so we can get ready for some clear coat. The frame is now nice and cleaned up. I went over the areas that had surface rust with steel wool and WD-40 to get rid of that, and it is looking so dang good. Now I want to reiterate that I'm not trying to hide any of the scratches or blemishes on this frame. I love the character of these old bikes, and all I want to do here is lock it in. So let's go ahead and start spraying some clear coat onto the frame to do just that. That clear coat went on super clean and easy, and I couldn't be more stoked. I'm gonna give it a few days to cure for best results, so in the meantime, we have another major item to check off the to-do list before the end of this episode, which is getting these wheels built. And by now, you've probably already gathered that this build is a little bit obnoxious. And obnoxious builds don't just happen without the support of rad companies and super cool homies. And getting these wheels built is gonna be no exception, because they're getting built by a friend of mine who cares about building quality wheels more than anybody I've ever met before. So let's go see him. This is my friend Russ, the hands and heart behind Switzerland Trail Bikepacking Supply. Russ has been building wheels for over a decade, but what makes him special isn't just the craftsmanship. It's the way he cares. For him, bikes aren't just machines. They're a way to connect people to adventure, to history, and to each other. The name Switzerland Trail comes from an old railroad that once wound through Colorado's Front Range. It's rugged, beautiful, and full of stories, and that same spirit runs through everything Russ does. And today, the wheel set he's building for me is a perfect example of that. Watching Russ work is rad. He's precise, personal, and does it with the kind of care that you just can't fake. I'm genuinely stoked to lace these wheels up to my bike, knowing that the love that went into them will translate directly to the road and trails ahead. So if you're looking for bikepacking gear, a little guidance, or your dream wheels, Russ is your guy. I'm gonna go ahead and link his info down in the bio, and just to be clear, Russ isn't sponsoring this video. I just genuinely appreciate him, his stoke, and I love seeing small businesses that give a damn get some love. And just like that, we're back at the shop with our rear wheel in hand. And I've got to say it, man, Russ is an absolute machine. The dude is a wizard when it comes to building wheels. It was so cool getting to stand there and have him walk me through all the nuances that go into building an incredible wheel. And I'm really excited to get this laced up to the bike. Now, you probably are looking at me like, dude, where's the front wheel? And unfortunately, we weren't able to get it done today. I knew we weren't going to be able to get it done. Russ is actually leaving on a trip tomorrow morning, and he was kind enough to take time out of his busy day today, getting all packed up and tying up all the loose ends before he headed out of town to get this wheel done for me. So we're gonna have to wait about a week and a half for the front one to get done, but that's okay because we have a bunch of other things to get done on the bike after that clear coat finishes curing. So let's talk about that. A big reason I had him lace up the rear wheel first is so that in the next episode, episode 2, we can start building the bike up. I can get all of the shifty bits all calibrated and dialed in so that when it comes to episode 3, we can actually get the bike all finished up and take it out for its first joyride. So you guessed it, episode 2 is gonna be the first assembly of the bike. We're gonna get the cockpit all put together. We're gonna get the rear wheel on. We're gonna get all of the components to get it shifting put on the bike. It's gonna really start taking shape and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like when we get that Crust Clydesdale fork installed on the bike as well. That thing is the statement piece of this entire build. So with all that being said, we have officially reached the end of the first episode in this build series, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me as we tore the bike down, got it all cleaned up, got some clear coat on there to preserve that character underneath, but also give it some shine. We've got the rear wheel built up thanks to Russ. Thank you so much, dude. This thing looks absolutely incredible. I can't wait to get it on the bike. But with all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you cruise down and hit that like button. It helps other people just like you see it as well. And it also helps let me know that you're enjoying this type of content. If you're really looking forward to seeing this bike start to go together and you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have more episodes to this series coming and also just a ton of other rad content popping up here on the channel weekly. And before I let you guys go, I'm really curious. What do you think of this build? Do you have a commuter bike yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. But until next time, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay rad.